Welcome back to the stream today, people. My name is Mr. London Plumber. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about, is 50k actually enough for someone in the trade? I've earned this myself, so I'm in a good position to be able to talk about it with you guys. But I always appreciate when you guys come on and share your opinion on the stream, but also in the chat as well. We are live today on YouTube. I've got my questions ready for you guys. And obviously, if it's the first time and you checking out my channel, I am a plumber who talks about real life trades problems and situations which a lot of us face. And one of them is obviously a salary. You know, a lot of salaries on paper sound amazing. I've been given a 50k salary loads of times, and I want to talk about what it is actually on paper, because that's how you got to start off with it. So I've been a tradesperson for over 23 years now. I'm a plumber by trade. I do building services. I'm a lead engineer, supervisor, and mechanically biased. So that's a little bit about myself. So let's talk about what we've come to talk about. The money. That's right, people. But before we start talking about the money, I have to remind you lot to subscribe to the channel, guys and girls. Subscribe to the channel. I have got about 280 subscribers away from 5k. Do need you to subscribe to the community. So let's get on with it. 50k sounds great on paper, doesn't it? And it does, but you have to just break that down, innit? Because what's in your pocket, yeah, is not the full 50k. I know people say, oh yeah, I earn 50k, I earn this. And when I was younger, I used to think, wow, that's a lot of money, innit? Getting a lot of dough. You got a lot of Benjis in your pocket. But we're adults now, innit? So you got to deduct things like your rent. You got to deduct things like your mortgage. We all have bills. We all got transport. Some of us, if you rock with me, you will know that I shop in M&S. So at the end of the day, your pockets have got to be deep. That's what I'm telling you. And everything else, what comes on top of that, maybe you might have kids as well. So I did do the full breakdown in England, yeah? I just want you to understand that how your money is being broken down. So you got your 50k gross salary, right? Your income on tax is about 7,464, right? National insurance is about 3,016, totaling to £10,502. So you actually take home in your pocket 39,498 pounds a year. So let's base that around people who don't get that and get paid monthly, right? So monthly you'll be taking home £3,291 about. So per week, let's break that down. That's 760 pounds. That's what you'd be taking home, depending on your tax code and stuff like that, right? So when you've now deducted a lot of things from that amount of money, it might be okay for some of us to live on that, but what does it take to actually get that 50k salary? Are we just working Monday to Friday, or are we extending our time and doing the overtime? Is it Saturdays and Sundays? Because I work a shift job, which is 12 hours. And depending on when that shift falls on you, that's when I've got to be at work. At other times, yeah, I'm free. I'm able to do jobs. But I don't have so many weekends available like other people. That's something what I know I've had to sacrifice. So sacrificing your evenings and weekends, are you prepared to do that for a 50k salary? This is what I want to ask you guys in the comment section. I know I have done it, so that's why I can honestly talk on it, because I know that due to everyone's circumstances, yeah, it's just not what you want to do, if you get what I mean, moving forward. When you think about the trap of overtime, and I say trap of overtime because it's what it takes sometimes to make your salary just reach that 50k threshold, right? And to get that 3 grand to a month, that's okay-ish if you're not living a frugal life, if you've not got a nice car, if you've not got a lot of insurance to pay out, it's okay, right? And I can see how some people can live on that, right, and save some money too. But we all know that, and I speak from people who live in London, everything is costly. You go out, you get a parking ticket, you got to pay for Ringo. I've paid so much money in Ringo, I don't even look on my Monzo to see how much I've spent that way, because I don't want to know. Nearly everybody's house, parking, parking. Going to look at a job, got to do parking. Anyway, let's talk about the overtime trap, right? Like, what do you have to do to increase your salary to get to 50k? Do you have to work weekends? Are you available to work weekends? A lot of people are not. I am available to work weekends because I don't have kids, right? And if I had kids and other responsibilities, the answer would be no. I have always been thinking to myself that I would like a little bit more of my time back for myself. But I realize at some points, if you're just trying to get to that bag here, you got to lock in. If you're not willing to lock in, you just be a talker. And I know a lot of men who are just talking about wanting to earn a certain amount of money. And, like when I used to work here, I used to earn this money. What are you doing now, big man? What are you doing now? That's what people care about, what you're doing now. So when you look at the reality of your salary, yeah, and your lifestyle, yeah, because I know I work hard and I put the certain amount of hours in, I know I can afford X, right? I have had a few weeks where I've just blown a bit, but I didn't need to do that. But I know I earn X amount, so I'm earning the 3,002. So, maybe tap the card a bit too much that week. But it is what it is, isn't it? You learn your spending habits yourself, people. And that's something which I always want to encourage to people as well, man. Because a lot of people I see within this trade, they don't really understand when it comes to money. They always feel like, oh, I work a lot, so I should have a lot of money, but you don't. So that's why I make these videos where I can honestly sit down and talk to people and say, the overtime, if you fall into that trap, yeah, you end up not having a lot of time for yourself. And that's the sacrifice what you got to take, right? And when it comes to the overtime, is it just going to be Saturdays, or are you open to working Saturdays and other days? Because being paid time and a half or double time for the weekend is very appealing for someone who has a salary, right? And what you get to do is you see like your money, what you make in the week, right? Let's say like your weekly money is £800, £900. You will get that £800 to £900, and the tax for that week will be paid off by your Saturday and your Sunday. You might see a little bit of the Sunday. Depends what your money's like, innit? But that's how I always look at it. And we have to talk about what we all should be looking at, which is the possibility of doing private jobs as a tradesperson. but also having a salary, because I've done this for some years. And, you know, like some people think that I'm out doing plumbing jobs every day. I'm not. I've sat and had a full-time job and been able to do private jobs on the side because I have a business. I have a business which is not killing it at the moment. It does get some regular work, but I can't always rely on it. And me, myself, at the age I'm at, I'd rather have stability, you know. Stability is necessary in a sense of being an adult and being able to have a house, have a car, have a phone, you know, like all these things are bills, right? So you got to have the money to pay the bills, and instead of chasing people when it comes to private work. Private work can be very attractive for any tradesperson, you know. Someone tells you that, oh mate, do you change sockets? You know, like, yeah, I could change a socket for you. Yeah, I'll pay you if you come around and do a couple of sockets for me. All right, no worries. So I had someone message me on TikTok recently. Could you change a tap cartridge for me? This is a kitchen tap, I'd imagine. Asked them, have you got the part? They said yes. Followed up with, send me some pictures and where you live, and then we'll get it arranged. It's quite simple. Quick private job. Might only be 80, 90 pound for me, but it's something, isn't it? Once you start doing them, they start adding up. And the type of social media account I have personally is like when people see me doing jobs, more people get in contact with me. It just gets like that. Instead of me posting jobs when I'm working at my 9 to 5, right? Looking at an AHU or looking at a fan core unit or something like that. There's a different demographic of audience. That's what I'm saying to you. And I know how to, like, you know, push it myself, to be honest. So private jobs, yeah, can benefit you a lot. They actually bring in the hundreds and the thousands of pounds extra per week. So you need to look at how much time, effort, and labor and money that's going to bring in for you. The risk is obviously you're responsible. You have to travel, you have to get materials, you have to get insurance, and you have to chase. No, you should only really be dealing with people who you can actually trust. Like, and I want to say this to people, yeah. A trade job is the only job where people expect you to do the work and get paid after. It doesn't work for everybody because you don't know all these customers. I don't know them. I try to judge people on the gauge if they seem like a cool person, a good person, honest person, you know, someone who doesn't seem like they're going to mess me around. But do I know if they're really going to mess me around? No, I honestly don't. I honestly have to be open about the situation and be like, okay, I'm here to fix this for you. I'm going to give you a price. And at the end of it, we're going to collect the money. I've had someone call me out and it was from a HMO. Yeah. So they're a company to some degree. They wanted some work done in the kitchen, needed a tap replaced or something was leaking. I can't remember what it was, something like that. Anyway, not a far job. Went there, popped over, had a little look, saw what I needed to get. And then because of the procedure of me being able to go to the place where it was, yeah, I had to send the ID before. So I sent my ID. And that made me say, do you know what? Let me ask this lady, who will be paying for the bill? So I asked her, who's paying for the bill? She said, oh, my manager. Oh, okay, could you get your manager to get in contact with me? Ringing out the manager. How does the payment go here? And that's when she told me it was 28 days. And that's when I realized to myself, I don't want to be spending £50, £60 on materials and have to wait 28 days to get my £50 or £60 back plus the labor, it's not worth it. Do you know what I mean? We got sea bass to eat, we got snapper to eat, we got bigger fish. Do you get it? For me, I mean, some other people would have looked at that and said, "Oh, it's a PJ, innit? I'm just gonna do it." I'm not gonna move like that as an experienced person. I'm sorry, but we're here to make quick dough and regular dough. So if it's not quick dough, I don't really want to know when it comes to privates. I do think that like having your 9 to 5 job definitely gives you some structure to running private jobs. I've recently been at this company, and it's been interesting to see the way the engineers are able to order stuff from merchants and suppliers, look at quotations, go over photos. They're kind of doing exactly the same thing someone would do if they were self-employed for themselves, but they're doing it for their company, right? Which is a good thing, because look, many tradespeople don't possess that skill to be able to price up or to look at a job and say, my labor is £90 an hour, the materials is £60 an hour, and add that together and give their day rate. That's the rate for the day. That's the price for the day. But what we need to understand is the difference between a day rate and an hourly rate. An hourly rate, you should know as an engineer or as as an engineer or a plumber, you should know that your hourly rate is going to be, right, it's going to take me an hour to do this job. I'm going to charge them £120. Cool. At the end of this hour, I know the job's going to be finished. Because if I had done a job like that, I know I'd finish it in half an hour. Because I give myself enough time to be able to test and commission what I'm looking at, so I can come up with a good summary, have time to still write the report within the hour and deliver it, show the customer it's working, and then send them the invoice within the hour. That's how you be as efficient as you can when you're doing these private jobs. But that's something that I might make a little video on at some point, because I have been subcontracting, doing some fan coil units up in the upper echelons of London. What I like being up in West End, and West End for me is the only field which is going to pay me the rates what I want, because everybody's time when it comes to their salary, they have no idea what it is, right? And I don't want to go off track with what I want to say, but just hear me out on this one, yeah? So someone works for 50k, but they don't know how much they would charge for an hourly rate. I'm not sure how much I would charge for these people. Well, why don't you Google it? That's what when I didn't know yet, I Googled it, and I Googled what's the average salary. So I put myself just a little bit above the average, because I've got insurance, I've got a vehicle, I've got fuel to pay for, I've got materials to pay for. Do you get it? So when a customer did Google how much is a plumber for today, or how much is a plumber in this area, it would give them the price. And you got to think to yourself, that's how other people look at it. And if you're not going by the current rate, you might be undercutting yourself, undervaluing yourself, because you think, oh, well, it's just one job, That's the problem, people. If you start a business, and you don't act like one, you act like, I'm just a plumber though, doing a job. I'm just an electrician, just doing some lights. No, I'm an electrician business. I am a plumbing business. It sounds very different when you give it that ring to let people know that this is a business. This is not just someone with a t-shirt on and a bag of tools. That's not how you're trying to come across to any person when you're doing any private job out there. I just want to put that out there for people, because some people are not getting it. And I explain to people as well. That's the maddest thing. So we've discussed why tradespeople look at private jobs as a little booster onto their salary, yeah, because I always looked at it as that. So now we're going to talk about the real value of your time. If you ask yourself, honestly, what's your time worth? Like, I used to do this with my students, right? And my students, I used to say to them, look, you're going to do task number 15 in the book, right? And it's to pull an elbow and do an offset. So when they would do it, I would ask them, stand back, look at the work. And they'll look at it with me. Now they'll be like, what are we looking at? We're looking at what you've done. Ask me or ask yourself, how much would I pay for that? And they always said they didn't know. But you have to ask yourself, what is your hourly rate worth? Do you get what I mean? What is that worth? Are you someone who's worth, is your hour worth 20, 30, 50, £100? Because I know to myself, yeah, with my 23 years of experience, my willing to complete every bloody job and my determination, I'm worth over £200 an hour. I just put it out there, you know. I want you lot to let me know in the comment section, what are you worth an hour? Honestly. Because people don't know where their value is. A lot of us don't know where our value is. You don't know if your value is in being an educational person. You don't know if your value is within the networking skills, what you do have already. Ask yourself, where is that value and what do you rate yourself per hour? Like, how much would you charge? Me as a plumber, I'm not charging anything less. Like, per hour, I'll do 200 per hour. Sundays, a little bit more. Again, always depends on the job, because different jobs require me not to tell someone an hourly rate. Look, someone wants a tap fitted in, cool, 60. No, I wouldn't do it for 60s no more. I'll only do tap installations, minimum of £90, really. There's no call out charge or nothing like that, because it just doesn't make sense me adding on a call out charge onto a £90, you know. As long as it's, for me, as long as you do not live like more than like 10 miles away from where I live, you know, that's cool. £90, we could do it. If you want it, follow my Instagram, which is linked in the description box below, people. Forgot to shout out my Instagram. And my TikTok is on there as well. So if you ever do see these videos and you're wondering, where's his social medias? They're in the description box below. So definitely go and check them out. We hit 10.5K on my Instagram. We're going up. Need to get my numbers on my TikTok up as well. I think I'm at 9,700 and something. But let's talk about salary versus lifestyle. Someone says they're earning 50K a year, 50K a year, but they're working Saturdays and they have less free time compared to someone who is getting 45K, not working any weekends. Which one is more actually valuable in lifestyle to you? I want to ask you lot who are following and who are watching today, because more money, you know what Biggie Smalls said, more problems, more. Yeah. Look, Sometimes people don't know there's just that 5K difference, yeah, and not having to work the weekends. You've got so much more of your life back in your hands to do what you want to do, you know, to do the private jobs, to earn 10K in private jobs. You're not metro booming, but you're doing your thing at the end of the day. It's scratch, it's money. I wouldn't turn it down myself. The point is that to earn the 45, to have all your weekends completely free so you can live your life, go out with your girl, sexy fish on the weekend, no book off, rooftop bars, all that good stuff, drinking the cocktail with the small pinky finger out. Like, you're living life. Nobody can't tell you nothing, right? But you're getting 45K and you've still got the time to be able to do private jobs Saturday, Sundays, and any other time when you're not actually at work on a shift. Compared to that, you won't be able to do that. If you're getting 50K, you're working every other Saturday. I want to know which one you would prefer, right? So I know people are thinking, oh, but when you're going to talk about self-employed, it's the self-employed versus the employed bit right now. Okay? Chill out. Chill out. Self-employed, yeah, when you're employed, like I've been employed, because I'm speaking from both sides. I've been self-employed as well, so I can talk about that in a second. So when you're employed, it gives you much more stability. Yeah, there's no going around that. When a man is employed, you'll see him driving the Mercedes, driving the Beamer. He'll even go and get the Range Rover. Some people at my workplace, they be telling me that they got the Discovery. I'm saying, okay, you've been employed for a long time. Like, you're fully in there. That you're not looking to go on the tools or doing any type of self-employed mission at any point, because that driving up higher, that's a bit of you, man. Right. But private work can be very flexible and bring in additional incomes. So keeping it a bean, like I've said before earlier, private jobs have definitely kept me out of this shit a few times when I've needed them to. They come at sometimes the randomest moments. They might be jobs which I think to myself, I don't want to do, but I actually need the money. So getting up, doing the private jobs, it can be very rewarding. So my last private job, what I done, yeah, someone that I know, and I've known them for quite a long time. I see them in a screw fix, yeah. They was ordering like a close coupling for a toilet, yeah. I was like, I didn't know you knew how to take off toilets and all that. She was like, I don't. I said, that's what you got to do with that one. And I said to her, take my number, innit? Like, shout me, innit? Because I was getting some parts and I was in and I was out in the shop, yeah, myself. So she didn't call me, yeah? So I said, fuck it, man. Cool. Carried on. Because I was going to get my friend to give her a call and ask her why she didn't call me. But you know what I thought to myself at the same time? I got other privates on. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, right? So it must have been about 2 to 3 weeks ago. I got a text. It's bloody blah. My mum's toilet isn't working. It's got a macerator on it. Can I send you a photo? And is it possible you could pop round there? I said, yeah, no problem. I'll do it. So I met her mum before, innit? Nice lady. Like people who I've grown up with, yeah, have got nice parents. Like just like mine, just generally nice parents. All my friends, lovely parents. And I've always thought to myself, I'm not like the king of doing private jobs. I mean, I had my time of doing that. I'm a little bit older now, where I don't really want to actually do that many private jobs, right? So I choose to be picky about them when I do them, right? So I've agreed to say that I will pop round to this person's house after I finish work. So I pop round. I realised what the problem was in the first probably about 5 minutes, because the sink is right by the toilet and the macerator is on the toilet and the sink flows into the macerator and gets pumped out, right? But there is a non-return valve on the macerator. So I realized, got my torch, realized they put the non-return valve the wrong way round. So it's not actually pulling anything through. First of all, I did think that the pipe work might not have a good fall in it. That's why, the sink's building up and stuff, but it wasn't. Anyway, done that. And while I was talking to her, I was asking her if she ever watches these YouTube channels where they do jobs for people for free. She goes, yeah, I did, I actually watched this guy, and I watched a person called Midlife Stockman, yeah? That's one of the first people who I see it from. But there are loads of other channels who actually do like giving back. And, I started watching YouTube, and that's the reason why I started to make content myself. Because I said, I want to do this. And one of the things I've said that I wanted to do for a long while is do jobs for free and just film people's reaction and be able to bring a smile to someone else's face, because all my brethren and all my people's mums need help, including my mum at one time. So I would hope that one of my friends would be able to repay the favor. I don't do it so I can get someone else to do it. I do it to set example. I didn't actually get to film that at all because we just happened to be talking about that. And when she said, how much is it? I was like, don't worry about it, man. It's fine. She was like, oh, but you've been here for an hour. I'm like, it's fine. If I wanted some money, I would ask you, but I don't. Like, it's cool. Oh, thank you so much. And that whole thing made me think, you know what? Even the next 2 days, I was on a cloud of, yeah, this is what you should do, And I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to start bringing it onto my channel, but there's 1 or 2 things that I've got to sort out with my channel before I start to do that. But that is definitely the direction of a certain amount of posts. I want to do a certain amount of them and just see how you guys see it, because it's not really for myself. It's for other people to see that, you know what, be nice to people around you. And there are people who you can do some favors, just a little favor. It might be an hour of your time, an hour of your time goes a long way and allows a lot of people to look at you in a different light. We all need help. Not to say that that person needed help, like they couldn't pay the bill. They live in a nice house. But the point is that I've been in that person's house. I've ate before. I was at a barbecue at their house one time. I've been to the house. I think I've been to the house about 2 or 3 times. So, yeah, they fed me when I came there. So why can't I just give like an hour of my time to help them out? I mean, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, it's just an idea. So I do want you guys to let me know what you think about that idea for some videos. Do you think it will make some good content for my channel? Because obviously the people wouldn't have any clue that I was going to do it for free. I'll just do it. And yeah, I'll just do it out of kindness, really. That's what I would say to you lot. Right. So let's get back onto employment, self-employed, and businesses, yeah? And the differences, right? So I've said to you that it can be very flexible for you to be able to do your private jobs, build your representation of your company at the same time. So you just give yourself a few more options by being able to be self-employed, right? But there's a lot of risk what come with it, chasing people for money. In this day and this age, you better mind that, because you could go broke. Yeah, I just tell people from now, people who want to dodge you and not pay you, there are enough of them out there to remind anyone, would someone ever do it? So the uncomfortable question I want to ask you guys now, how much money is enough? I've been on a 50k salary. I've been on a 60k salary as well. And I've been getting One place I've been getting nearly 70, but it wasn't like I was on an agency, but it was just really, really good money. I know what one I would prefer and what one I would stop at. 70, no, 80k is enough to stop at, to be honest. 80k. It's a comfy salary. You'll be okay. And you'll be able to live a comfortable life. But if you increase more money, if you want more money, yeah, and more results, yeah, you're gonna have to work more hours generally as a tradesperson. And money can't buy your time at the end of the day. I've had some regrets from working overtime too much because I've missed birthdays. I've had to go to work when everyone's chilling outside. When it's a hot summer's day, all my parents are there, my sister's there, the kids are there, my partner's there. Oh yeah, I've got to go work. Oh, I'll catch you lot later. And the whole time when I'm driving to work, I'm not gonna lie to you lot, man, I'm driving in silence. I don't even want to hear no music because my people, they're just chilling, but I gotta go work. And yes, I was earning good money, but the balance to the good money is a good lifestyle. There's no other way to go around it. I would always want to earn the max amount what I could earn, but there's a point for everybody when it starts to be a bit like this is a bit too much. I need a better balance, and I think that's the only time you're gonna be honest with yourself because look, a lot of us look at these things as milestones, right? Me included as well. Like how young was I when I was making 50k? I might have been in my 30s when I started earning 50k. Yeah, early 30s. Yeah, early 30s I was getting 50k. But when you start getting that 3,002 a month, yeah, seems okay, but you want 5 bands a month. And I've had 5 bands a month and eight grand a month I've had. 8 grand a month was quite make you look at your phone a couple times because you can move around a few bits, and if you're getting another bit the next month, you're good. But ultimately, if somebody asks you what is enough money, I want you to tell me in the comment section what's enough money for you to be comfortable with. And would you rather have 50k as a salary or 45 and not have to work the weekends and have more time to yourself? Because if you're a tradesperson, you still got the flexibility to be able to do private jobs when you want. You still got the time, and you can still plan little weekends away to Spain and all that. Do you know what I mean? You can still go to little, I don't know, can you go to Greece for a couple of days? You could do your thing. You could get a couple of them outfits on TikTok and all that. Go out with your girl and do that. You know the thing where they hold hands, and they change their outfits. You could do all of that if you don't have to work the weekends. But if you got to work the weekends, big man, you know already. But I've realized myself that working all the hours isn't all that, because you don't work to live. You live and you do a bit of working. Do you get it? Nobody loves work. Like, I was talking to a manager recently, and he was asking me about the place where I actually work at the moment, right? And I was saying, yeah, I like it. It's cool. And he's like, look, mate. Now on a white guy one, look, mate, nobody loves work. Yeah, cut the fucking crap. And I said, yeah, no, for real. But I just got to be here, innit? But if I honestly don't have a problem with the workplace, it's not that I don't love it. It's just like now, if I don't loathe it, I'll be just finding excuses why I think it's shit or I think I need to move on. That's my thing, you know, like at the end of the day. But I like working around people who are very transparent, that you can say what you need to say to them. People ain't going to get offended, you know. Don't get me wrong. You always never need to tell people things who you work with, because they're part of the CIA and all that, you know. CIA, HR, all that bullshit. Don't ever tell them anything, because people love to talk about something, what you said. And again, most people who are getting good salaries, they keep it quiet to themselves as well, because they don't want people to know how much they're earning. I've seen like this guy who I come across here. He works in a position where he's definitely getting less than 50k, yeah. But he told me he's got this private business where he's earning 100k, and I was like, 100k, yeah. So why are you wasting your time here with this job? You could tell that to a fool, yeah, but someone who has been outside, and I've been around quite a lot of companies and people, made money for myself. Why would you be wasting your time here if you're getting 100k somewhere else? You wouldn't. That's right. So it's a load of baloney. And I find a lot of males do that within this industry to impress you, make you look at them and say, oh, well, you must be good at what you're doing because you're earning X amount of money. You might not be good at what you're doing. And what you're saying doesn't make sense here. Like, I'm not the only one that thinks it. I know other people think it when they hear people say stuff like, oh, you're on a... And this is... Let me think about his salary. So he would be on something like... He would be on something like 30k a year, yeah? So you're telling me you make 100k on your private business. I'm like, really? That's, and anybody can take it how they want, but when you think about what your bread and butter is, and that's what people call it in the trade, your bread and your butter, right? Your main source of income, your main squeeze, right? If your main squeeze isn't making as much money as your side hustle, you just would go onto your side hustle and make that into your main and use the other one when you wanted it. That would make more sense. But to me, I don't need to make sense of it because I know you're lying. And that's okay as well, man, because you get a lot of tradespeople who will fake it till they make it, tell you that they're getting bread, tell you that they're Hova Mac, you know, Jay-Z throwing up the rock signs, all that bullshit. You're not. And it's okay because the statistics won't lie. You can go on to UK Gov, HMRC, and see how many tradespeople, you can put it in ChatGPT and see how many tradespeople are in the 10% of the UK. And, you know, someone foolish will say, oh, yeah, but I know a geezer that's doing this or doing that. Everybody's paying tax, right? So everybody's going through the same system, mate. What are you talking about? What are you on about? Like, those are the funniest things that I hear from people within the trade, like speaking about money and stuff like that, when I'm like, that's funny, man. Because why all the time I see you, you look like you're broke. You look like you ain't got no dough. So what are we talking about here, man? My one piece of advice before I go, I would always like to tell you guys, don't be fooled. Use the calculator on your mobile phone and add stuff up. If a salary seems like it is good on paper, ask yourself, what do you have to do to make that extra little bit of money? I'm going to leave you with this one thought before I end this video, yeah? And my cousin told me this, my big cousin. He's the one that done this logo. Shout out my big cousin. point to this side when it's this side. But that's my big cousin, yeah. That's my big cousin. So he's a graphics designer for Minecraft. Just want to add that in there, spice up the story, right? My cousin has been obviously working a little bit more before me. He got me my cousin got me a job at JD Sports when he was working there, and that was cold. But I don't know why I thought about that. But anyway, right. So my cousin told me one time, yeah, that if you're on a monthly salary and you wanted to get an extra, you need to get a certain amount of money, yeah, extra on top of it, yeah, to get £300 extra on your salary, you had to get a 7K increase to your salary. So I'm sure that's right. Let me just put it in. Let me see if I can put it in ChatGPT. One second. I hope everyone's enjoying the live stream as well, and I hope you're all subscribed as well. 300. One second. Monthly. Let me see if it's right. I think it is right. So you do. So when people have salaries, they don't look at it like that, you know. And these are like conversations which people should have more in the trade, and not be worried about talking about finances, you know. Because look, there are a lot of people in the trade who you should never take financial advice from, because they don't learn it from their own lessons. They're not speaking from experience or speaking from times of having it, losing it, got it, owning it, and building. Because we've all got experience, yeah, me included. I told you earlier in the video, I've had 50K salaries. I've had salaries where I was earning more than 50K, 67 at some points. And I asked myself, when is it enough? But I was working a lot. But I mean, anything I want to buy, Scott, you know what I mean? Got that. Baby girl wants something, got that. Going out to eat, champagne with the meal. Do you know what I mean? It was a good, but it's hard to keep up and maintain because I'm working all of the time, not giving myself enough rest. Again, I've told you about the important things, what matter to me, which is family, life, and making memories. You know, I work so I can survive, but I could also do a few more private jobs to be able to increase money at any point, and obviously take part in most of the social media things, which I normally do, but I haven't been doing so much. But hopefully I've got some sick collaborations coming up very soon. Well, I know I have, innit? I'm just not telling you guys because I can't speak about them yet. But when they do come out, I need you guys to support them, because these are the things which allow me to reach new audiences, you know, anytime that I collab with any type of brand, because I am the brand, the company, the business, Mr. London Plumber. So if you've enjoyed, I want you to drop a comment below on what you thought about the live stream. This is a Sunday live stream today, people. So yeah, drop a comment, subscribe, put on that notification bell, and go and follow me on my social medias, my TikTok, my Instagram. And we've also got a Facebook for us, for the older crowd as well, for you lot that are 40 plus. I know you be watching. We see ya. Anyway, today's been amazing, people. You guys have been amazing. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and look out for the new content which is coming out every single week. I'm out.